1896 in rail transport. This article lists events related to rail transport that occurred in 1896. Events. January events. January 23 construction begins on the Northwestern Elevated Railroad of the Chicago L, with the first structure erected at the intersection of Fullerton and Sheffield Avenues. February events. February 14 Northern Pacific Railway opens its Union Station in Portland, Oregon. February 24 Erie Railroad purchases the New York, Pennsylvania, and Ohio Railroad. March events. March 20 the Grand Trunk Railway purchases the Central Vermont Railway and begins operating it as a wholly owned subsidiary. April events. April 6 the Snowdon Mountain Railway in North Wales, the only aft-rack system line in the British Isles, commences public operation. However, a derailment leading to one fatality causes services to be suspended for a year. April 15 passenger rail service of the Henry Flagler Florida East Coast Railway arrives at its new terminus in Miami from West Palm Beach at the persuasion of Julia Tuttle. This quickly leads to incorporation of the city of Miami months later and extensive development of the greater Miami, South Florida, and the Keys. May events. May 2 Budapest Metro Line 1 Hungary, the world's second, is opened by Emperor Franz Joseph I of Austria. May 9 First Nord Express, Paris, France/Ostend, Belgium, to St. Petersburg, Russia. May 13, the Pretoria-Pietersburg Railway, a predecessor of the Central South African Railways, is incorporated in London. May 30 construction of the Uganda Railway starts at Mombasa. June events. June 29 the St. Louis and San Francisco Railroad Company, predecessor of the St. Louis-San Francisco Railway, is incorporated. July events. July 23 delivery of world's first commercially built oil-engined locomotive from Richard Hornsby and Sons of Grantham, England, to the Royal Arsenal, Woolwich, London, 18 in 460 mm gauge. July 30 Atlantic City rail crash shortly after 6:30 p.m. at a crossing just west of Atlantic City, New Jersey. 2 trains collide, crushing 5 loaded passenger coaches, killing 50 and seriously injuring around 60. September events. September 15 the Missouri-Kansas-Texas Railroad, the Katy, conveys 40,000 people to Crush, Texas, to witness a staged train wreck as a publicity stunt arranged by its general passenger agent, William George Crush. 3 spectators are accidentally killed. October events. October 5 Norwegian Railway Museum established at Hammer. December events. December 14 Glasgow Subway, the third oldest metro system in the world, begins operations in Glasgow, Scotland. December 25 Japanese National Railways opens 2 lines out of Tabata, an extension of the Tsuchiura line from Tsuchiura, and the Sumitogawa line to Sumitogawa. December 30 SS Pier Market, the first steel train ferry, makes its first voyage. Unknown date events. The Green Bay and Western Railroad is formed from the bankruptcy proceedings of the Green Bay, Winona, and St. Paul Railroad. The Loop Creek and Deepwater Railway, predecessor of the Deepwater Railway, is formed. Atlas Car and Manufacturing Company of Cleveland, Ohio, begins building steam locomotives. Bayer, Peacock and Company of Manchester, England, deliver the first 5 New South Wales T524 class Australian Consolidation 2-80 type heavy goods locomotives to the New South Wales Government Railways, forerunners of the system's numerically largest class, finally totaling 280 representatives. Narrow gauge Ferrocarril de Tacubaya begins passenger service to Mexico City's Tacubaya Amusement Park. The first narrow gauge 750 mm railway in Estonia connecting Valga with Parnu is opened. Deaths. January deaths. January 23, Ferdinand Schichau, German mechanical engineer and founder of locomotive manufacturing company Schichau Work, dies b. 1814. June deaths. June 4, Austin Corbin, president of Long Island Railroad b. 1827. October deaths. October 21, James Henry Greathead, English inventor of the tunneling shield used for the London Underground b. 1844. References